He's Bond, James Bond. And he's the rage of New York, Hollywood, and every town in between. Yes, Agent 007 is here under the code name of Pierce Brosnan. Plus, you'll hear from yourself why the music of Jethro Tull has kept drawing millions of fans for 20 years. And Claudia Cohen captures all the glitter and glamour of the spectacular film premiere of GoldenEye, with such stars on hand as Gary Sinise, Elle Macpherson, Lauren Bacall, and more. All next online. Now here are Regis Philbin and Kathie Lee Gifford.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Wednesday, November 15th, 1995, back in New York City, live, cold and gray. Boy, is it gray out there, isn't it? Here they are, everybody. 27 years, and they are still together and still one of the big hits in the music world, Jethro Tull. Nice to have you here.
What a pleasure.
Real names are Ian Anderson, of course, and Martin Barre on guitar, and Andrew Giddings on keyboards. And there are two other members who will be busy tonight on stage again at the Beacon Theatre.
Yeah. We couldn't afford the entire group today, but we're so glad the three of you came.
So the other two are the expensive guys as well.
Yeah.
We're cheap.
So there's nobody named Jethro Tull?
Not anymore, no. There was once upon a time, back in the 18th century, an agriculturalist, an inventor called Jethro Tull, who we ended up being named after. Wasn't my idea.
But you had a lot of names before you got to Jethro Tull.
Yeah, we were called something different every week.
Like what?
Well, we were so bad when we started, the only way we could get rebooked into the blues clubs was... Oh, shall I tell it to you again?
I just read it in quite a few of the articles about you that...
I haven't heard it. Tell me.
And they haven't heard it either.
Yeah.
No, we had a different name every week because the only way we could get rebooked is to change our name, pretend to be somebody different. And
Not bad, huh?
The only way we knew who we were was we would arrive at a club and look down the list of names and see if there was a name we didn't recognize. We thought, that must be us.
I thought it was because you were so rowdy, not so bad.
No, we were just plain bad.
Well, then you got the name Jethro Tull, and the audience for the first time seemed to really like you, and you got invited back.
Yeah, it wasn't because we were called Jethro Tull. It just happened to be the time we got invited to play every week at the famous Marquee Club, which was kind of like the Fillmore East in those days. It was a place where everybody started.
And to sort of put this in historical perspective, at this time, the Rolling Stones were looking for a record deal. Ringo had just become the Beatles' drummer, so we're going back a ways.
Well, yeah, not quite that far back, but...
And you need a new publicist, because that's what it said in your article.
Well, shall we review some of the great classic songs? Now, here's the cover song from J.S. Bach, Bourée.
That's right. We're one of the best-known bands in the world never to really have had hits, but we know what you're getting at. Yeah.
That's what I always loved about your music. It's symphonic overtones.
Yes,
it almost sounds like you heard that one before.
And you guys at times sat down to literally write something that you thought would be totally non-commercial, and then it would become a hit, to your amazement?
We were on our first American tour back in 1969, and our manager said, while we're out of the UK, we better have something to keep the pot boiling, you know, while we're away from home. So write us a hit. Okay, yeah, give me a couple of hours. So just to tease him, you know, I wrote the most uncommercial thing I could think of, which was in 5/4, which isn't really terribly good for dancing to unless you have 2.5 legs.
But it clicked.
It certainly, well, it clicked with somebody because they seem to go
Living
by
in
it.
the past.
Yeah.
Fine musicianship,
You know, so the flute, was that always your primary instrument, Ian?
No, it wasn't. I started off being a very bad guitar player, and which I could demonstrate for you amply now. No, I was a guitar player.
But the flute gives the whole thing a different sound, you know?
That's right. Well, I thought it was a good idea to try and do something a little different from everybody else, so I started that when I was 20 years old.
Is that right?
I took up the flute. This is too short for me. And It was, yeah, it was fun, you know, but it wasn't the kind of thing a blues band did back then, the Sonic Blues.
And they still don't, actually.
Met with some disapproval, I think, from some quarters. But I, you know, switched back to the guitar sometimes just to amuse myself.
Well, we switched back now, and this was a song out of the Red Rock days in Colorado?
Yeah, this was the first, when we premiered the Thick as a Brick tour back then, our first date was actually to a full-scale riot. I mean, there were 11,000 people. They were dropping CS gas into the audience from helicopters. The police overreacted just a tad.
What were they rioting about?
Well, in fact, they couldn't get in, you know, because it was full up, so they turned police cars over and set fire to them. As kids did back then.
Sure.
Of course, now they're much better behaved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Things are getting so much better.
Yeah, I have two of them. They're much better behaved.
Okay. All right, here's Thick as a Brick.
Really don't mind if you sit this one out. My words but a whisper, your deafness a shout. I may make you feel, but I can't make you think. Your sperm's in the gutter, your love's in the sink.
Irish lilt to it, doesn't it? A little
Well,
bit?
Scotland. Ian is originally you're from
Do
Scotland.
I hear an Irish lilt in there, or is that Scottish, or what is that certain sound that, you know?
Uptown Manhattan. Yeah. It's cheap hotel, Uptown Manhattan. It's and basically I am Scottish originally.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of it shows, at least
I think
not
it
at least
does
above the
in
waist.
your
No.
music. Definitely.
No, I wear a sporran is what I'm getting at. You know, there's the famous container of precious valuables. The sporran. You know, we wear it
sporran.
with our kilts, yes. Like a purse.
Oh, the sporran, is that one under your kilt?
Yeah.
He thought you were talking dirty.
No, I still don't follow
The
you.
sporran you wear outside the kilt.
Oh, outside the kilt.
The haggis
I
is
thought
inside the kilt.
in America we call that a jock. But anyway, we're going to come right back with Jethro Tull's new song. That's what I thought.
I know that.
All
but
right.
I think he thinks you're
I can't be a prophet.
Guests on Live with Regis and Kathie Lee stay at the Michelangelo. Intimate, fashionable, very Italian. The luxury hotel in the heart of Manhattan's business, cultural, and theater district. The Michelangelo. And tomorrow on Live, actor Ken Olin.